to your journey. Never live a half-lived life. Always stay connected to your journey. Never live a half-lived life.
Discount. Discount is the reduction in the price to be paid by a trade customer, or the reduction in the price to be paid to a trade creditor. Now, it's worthy of note that most organizations sell on credit basis in order to attract either bulk purchase or prompt payment. The nature of the discount that is written in the Cashbook is the cash discount because it involves prompt payment. Now, let's go to today's question. Good day, everyone. Welcome to Accounting Expo. Today we shall be treating the three-column Cashbook. What is a three-column Cashbook? Three-column Cashbook is a Cashbook that combines the discount column on the debit side and the credit side of an existing Cashbook that has cash and bank equally on the debit side and the credit side. Meaning the debit side of a three-column Cashbook has column for date, particulars, folio, cash, bank, and discount allowed on the debit side. Equally, on the credit side, there are columns for dates, particulars, folio, cash, bank, but discount received on the credit side. Now, the following information has been extracted from the books of Sim Bintu. So when you are preparing the three-column Cashbook, you write the name of the organization involved first, then the requirement, three-column Cashbook, because the transaction has discounts included. Now, January 1, balance at bank 683. Since it's balance at bank, it means the organization has cash at bank, so it will be recorded on the debit side. So in the column for date, we write January 1, then particulars, balance brought down, otherwise known as balance BD. Then the amount will be written in the column for bank because balance brought down. Bank balance at bank 368. Now, the following day, at the same day, the organization withdrew 500 naira from bank for office use. So in essence, the organization has lesser amount of money in its bank account and more money in the office. Now, it's worthy of note that whenever it is stated that the money withdrawn from bank is for office use or for business use, that is, whenever there is no clarification of what the money was withdrawn from, it means it is for office use. So in that case, we are going to credit bank and debit cash, which makes it a contra entry, movement from bank account into the cash account. So for date, we have 1st of January. Since the money was removed from bank into cash, in the particulars column we are putting bank. Then in the folio column we put a sign for contra entry. Then in the column for cash, since the money was moved into the cash account, we put the 500 naira in the cash account. But on the other hand, we are going to the credit side, we write the same date, but since the money was moved from bank into cash, we are going to write cash in the column for particulars to show that the money moved from bank was taken into cash account. That's why we have cash in the column for particulars. Then the amount will be written under bank column. Now on the same day, the organization bought 14 meters for 282 naira cash. So since it's an outflow of cash, it will be recorded on the credit side. So 1 what did they buy? Metals. On which basis? Cash basis. At how much? 282 naira. The next transaction took place on the 4th of January. Paid B Aluko check of 6,000 naira, meaning that there was decrease in the bank balance because money was moved from the bank to B Aluko. So it will equally be written on the credit side. So here we write B Aluko to show that money was paid to him. Then we are writing it under the column for bank, and how much? 6,000 naira. January 5, paid in cash, wages of 72 naira. There is a decrease in the cash balance, so it will be recorded in the credit side of the bank column. 5.1 money was paid for wages, so we are writing wages in the particulars column, then the 72 naira in the column for cash. Then for office expenses on that same day, 70 naira. So for 70 naira cash, so 5.1 office expenses. The money was spent for office expenses, so it will be written in the column for cash. January 9, Aba paid by check, the account of 250 naira by check, less 10% discount. So since Aba paid the organization by check, that transaction will be written on the debit side of the cash book. So the column for date we have 9/1, and the money, as yes, it was Aba that paid by check. So in the column for particulars we write Aba, then 10% of 250 naira is 25 naira. So in the column for discount allowed we are writing 25 naira. Then we will minus that 25 naira from 250, and that will give us, that's by check, that will give us 225 naira in the bank column. Now January 10, cash sales of 76 naira, that's receipt of cash, inflow of cash. So the transaction will be written on the debit side. So 10/1, the money received was as a result of goods sold. So the nature, the particulars, we have sales. We are going to write sales in the particulars column. Then in the cash column we are writing 76 naira. Now January 12, Harry settled account of 200 naira by check, 100 naira, meaning the amount of goods sold to Harry was 200 naira, but because he paid promptly, he was allowed 100 naira out of the 200 naira. So as a result of that, the transaction will lead to a debit entry in bank account. So the date is 12/1. The nature of the transaction is Harry, since it was Harry that paid, settled his account. So in the column for bank, we are writing 100 naira because he was owing 100 naira, 200 naira, and he was allowed discount of 100 naira. So out of the 200 naira, he paid just 100 naira. So while the remaining balance was the discount he allowed. Now January 13 paid Bosun 550 naira out of 600 naira worth of goods. So since this one involves payment, is an outflow of cash. So meaning the transaction will be credited, paid Dotun on cash basis. So Bosun, so 13/1. The nature of the transaction is Bosun. Then the amount paid to him on cash basis was 550 naira, while the discount received from him was 50 naira. Then January 13 again, sold goods for cash 6,000 naira. That's an inflow of cash balance by 6,000 naira. So it should be recorded on the debit side. So in the particulars column, we are writing sales. Then in the column for cash, we will write 6,000 naira. Then January 14 purchase 5,000 naira worth of goods from Abe. Purchase 5,000 naira worth of goods from Abe and allowed him a discount of 5,000 on the goods bought. Purchase goods worth 5,000 naira of goods from Abe and allowed him 5% discount on the goods bought. 5% of 5,000 naira is 250 naira. First and foremost, the transaction will lead to a credit entry in the cash book. So we are writing the transaction on the credit side. 14/1. The person that the organization purchased goods from was Abe. The price of the goods purchased from him was 5,000 naira, but he allowed the organization 5% discount. 5% of 5,000 naira is 250. So the discount received from him was 250, and since it was it was checked, so 250, 5,000 minus 250 gives us 4,750 naira. Having gotten to this stage, we are going to find the balance by doing addition and subtraction. The necessary addition and subtraction. We can notice that the balance carried down is only on the credit side of cash column, and the one for bank is on the debit side of the bank column. But the discount allowed has no balance. So also the discount received has no balance. Why? Because the discounts are memorandum in nature. They are two different accounts but combined with the cash book. So since they are different from each other, we cannot subtract discount any discount allowed from discount received, neither can we subtract discount received from discount allowed, because they are different in nature. But looking at the cash book, there is a debit balance. The cash column has a debit balance, meaning there was excess. The total of the debit side of the cash, which means inflow of cash, is more than the outflow of cash. The outflow of cash was 974 naira. They paid 974 naira out of cash, out of 6,576 naira cash they receive, meaning there is a difference of 5,602 naira in hand, which makes it a debit balance. Remember that in our last video I told you that assets are debit opening balance, but looking at this bank column, we can see that the opening balance is on the credit side, which makes it opening balance, because they deposited CB2 deposited 1,008 naira in the bank account, but they withdrew 11,250 naira from the bank, which makes it a bank overdraft. What is a bank overdraft? A bank overdraft is withdrawn from the bank in excess. That is, when the firm withdraws more than the amount of money in the bank account, is known as an overdraft and is a liability of the organization to the bank. So it's worthy of note that the cash column is not expected to have a credit opening balance, because they cannot spend more than the amount of money they have in their office. Some instances, the examiner might want to test how knowledgeable you are in posting transaction into the cash column of the cash book, and they will sometimes make the payment to be more than the receipt. But if it's in such a case, if it's in such situation, I don't want you to doubt your capability of doing it. So far you have followed the rules guiding the preparation of cash book. Thank you and God bless you. Have a great day.